Hey, it's Dr. Alex. I'm just coming in with another video to help those of you who are trying to get that Colorado State Physical Therapy license. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to put links in this video down in the description just to kind of hop to certain points. But right now I'm at the Colorado Department of Regulations website. You can find this site just by searching Colorado Physical Therapy License. And we're going to be applying for a new license here. So we're going to hop down to the Physical Therapy and Applications form. We're going to click on Licensure. And we've got the two sections right here. The first one you're going to need to be applying. This is your application. But the second one right here, let's go ahead and take a look at this application checklist. So the application checklist is just a really good way to kind of help break down everything here. Of course, we're going to need to work on submitting a fingerprint and a background check. Honestly, this is probably the hardest part of everything, but we're going to go over that real quick, especially if you're not from the Colorado area. There's just some extra steps you have to take, but really nothing is very difficult with this. Colorado is actually a pretty simple state to get our license in. You're going to be paying the application fee with a credit card, which I think it was about $66 for the application. If you had a name change, if you got married or something else happened, you have to upload that. Upload a verification from another state's certificate or license. This one is honestly, it's a free way of just getting the license uploaded and everything versus going to the state board license and attempting to send that over, which usually that can be about, I think it's like $12 to $18 to send it over. So just this will save you an extra $12 to $18 in your pocket. Unless you are one of those individuals who had just graduated and you need to show that you had passed the national board exam for the NPTE as well as your transcripts from your school. If you are not just graduating, you're going in by endorsement, you just have to have an active physical therapy license in another state. So continuing down with this, graduating from an accredited program, making sure that the FSBPT identification number is there. And this is also going to save you money because you don't actually have to submit your scores unless, of course, you're doing the examination applicant. But that'll save you about $90 from submitting those scores. Attesting to professional liability, which is just signing off that you have that. You should have this. If you do not have this, fortunately, a lot of jobs, especially if you're applying for a job or already have a job, they will give you that professional liability insurance, but there are a couple ways that you can get it pretty cheap, especially if you're in the APTA. Attest to a developing written plan for security and patient medical records. That's kind of just like a another just signature, just making sure you're compliant with things, as well as the criminal history and general screening questions. And then lastly, you just need to complete the healthcare professional profile and upload supporting documentation, which we'll look at that as well in just a sec. All right, so now that we've gone through the checklist, we're going to go to the application portion. We'll have to register for a new account, so we'll click on register down here. And then you're registering as an individual, and saying no, basically real quick, is just to say that you have not had a license in Colorado before. And then you're just going to go through all of this and just fill out all of this information. And then we're going to go ahead and go to the next section. After you enter your information, it's going to have you verify your email. Once that email is verified, we can start applying for a new license right here. And we're going to scroll the whole way down to when we find physical therapy. There we go, physical therapist applications. We'll click on that. And then you'll just be doing the basic physical therapy license. So go ahead and get that started. And then it kind of explains a little bit more by examination or by endorsement. Examination is brand new. You've never had a license before, but you passed the NPT, you graduated from school. Endorsement is the you hold that license in another state or jurisdiction. This section here just talks about your general information. So you have to drop down menu right here. It's either going to have you are graduated from a CAPT approved program within the United States or a foreign credentialing area. So I was in the US, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that, say the graduating date. If you are in the US, you don't really have to do anything here, but if you are from a foreign commission and you have to show your credential review, you can go ahead and upload your documents here just to show what kind of education you've had. Again, I don't think you need to put in your doctoral degree transcript in this section. Next, FSBPT ID. Please write this down. I'd say have a document of like all your information, especially if you're traveling, because you're going to need this for every single time you switch locations. So you can click on this link here to find your ID and then just type it in here. Next is fingerprinting. So after we go through the application, I'm going to talk about fingerprinting because it can be, again, complicated if you're not in the state of Colorado to get those. Say that you're going to abide by the rules, say yes. Saying yes right here just talks about that you're going to get your fingerprints. Unfortunately, they use two links right here. If you're going by endorsement, it's going to be really great because you can just click on either link and it's going to give you the endorsement application checklist. But unfortunately, the examination side, both links are the endorsement. I'm not sure why that is. I'm sure that'll get fixed eventually. But you're going to choose which one that you are doing, examination or endorsement. So I'm doing endorsement because that's what I have been doing. But just a quick run through, just this checklist. Again, it's just another review, a little bit more specific of what you need for the endorsement of if you're a foreign graduated, you need that foreign credentialing submission. You got to get the FSBPT score transfer report. Demonstrate that that you are licensed and you've practiced for at least 2 of the 5 years. And if you've not been at least 2 of the last 5 years, you have to like submit additional information for that. So let's go ahead and go back. We're going to say endorsement and hit next. So on this page, you'll just be going through these. Have you passed the NPTE? Yes. Do you currently hold a license in Colorado or any other state? You're going to go and say yes on this as well. Then you're going to add your name, state, license held, and you can add the numbers and things like that if you had any disciplinary action or not. And then go ahead and submit that. It's going to put it in right here. And then because you said yes to that, you have to upload supporting documents. So basically just choosing a file on your computer, uploading the document, and then it'll come up right here. So the next 3 pages are just screening questions. This first page is talking about any like legality things, arrested, discipline, suspension of license, things like that. You want to say no to everything. Definitely read through it. Hopefully you didn't do anything. But then you're going to provide the information if you did say yes to any of these boxes below and upload any confirming documentation. Next is more screening. Have you had inquiry, investigation, or any punishments from these agencies? You want to say no to all of these, but if you have said yes, you fill out this as well, supporting documents. And then the last page here is malpractice and any special privileges or that have been revoked, suspended, etc. If you said yes, then you have to fill out the information and supporting documents. This page is just where you put in the date to attest to say that everything on this document is true and not false to the best of your ability. Healthcare professions profile, you need to create one of these technically. But if you've already been working in the state, you do have one already as another healthcare professional. And if so, you're going to say yes to this. But if you've not worked in the state of Colorado as another healthcare professional, you're going to say no. Now you're going to say where you got your school degree from. And if you hold a license in another state, which yes, you should, and you're going to put in where you have those states. If you've got multiple states, you're going to add all those in there. If you hold any board certifications, and you could say yes or no to that. If you say yes, it'll ask you to put those in. If you have any practice specialties, if you say yes to that, it's going to ask you that. You're going to put those in. Then any affiliations with any Colorado hospital, any affiliations with a healthcare facility or non-Colorado hospital, business ownership in a healthcare related business. Most of these should be no, but yeah, just kind of clicking through these, making sure that these apply with you or not. The last two, 72 and 74, I think they apply if you already have a job available and you're just now applying for your license. If you say yes to either of these, they're gonna ask for more additional information. Any disciplinary action? No. Any restrictions or suspensions? No. Any negative healthcare facility actions? No. Termination of employment? Hopefully not. Convictions? No. Malpractice claims? No. Malpractice care or refusal, like if you're denied the insurance? No. Put in any awards that you've had, and then just entering today's date, attesting again that it's the best of your ability. And then finally, this is just kind of a review of everything. You can scroll through it all, just make sure everything's good. And last thing, we're going to proceed to payment, which you just got to pay that $66 for the application, which you can just click pay invoice and it'll ask you for credit card information and things like that. The next step is to transfer those FSBPT scores. You're just going to click on customer login up in this corner and you're going to type in your username and password and hit login. So once you get logged in, you're going to come down to the services tab and just click on score transfer to state and just follow the steps through there to go ahead and get that the scores transferred over. Make sure you are submitting it to the state of Colorado when you do this. All right, now fingerprints. This is where we get to getting your fingerprints together so you can get your background check and everything. If you're in the state of Colorado, it's actually really simple. You've got two different options here. You can go through Identigo or this Colorado Fingerprinting Company. For Colorado Fingerprinting Company, you just kind of click on appointment scheduling and it'll bring you to this page here. And it kind of gives you this step-by-step process of what you're supposed to do. And you can just click on this to kind of get through, go through those steps. Identigo, on the other hand, so you're going to actually click on physical therapy right here. Identigo, it has, this page is what's going to bring you up right here. So you need to locate an enrollment center, make sure you know what to bring and everything. But more importantly, you want to schedule or manage an appointment. Go through all the steps, fill in all your information, and it should kind of just set you up with everything. Pretty simple right there. So if you're out of state, this is where things get actually a little bit more complicated. So if you're out of state, first you have to be able to get yourself fingerprint cards, which you can do that in any way whatsoever. You need to make sure it's an FD 258 card. So that's just basically your standard fingerprint card if you go to any location. If you ask for that, there'll probably be an FD 258. But just to make sure everything's specific, you can always ask and make sure you get an FD 258. You can get these at actually going to Identico locations in your own state. You can go to police stations. There are other fingerprinting services. They'll all carry that card. Sometimes UPSs or FedExes, they'll have these cards as well, but you just want to make sure that you go to some location that has these services. Back on this Identico website, you're going to click on Submit a Fingerprint by Mail. So make sure the fingerprint card says the correct address. You want to put it to the Colorado program at 347 Springs Way, Suite 250, Brentwood, Tennessee. Sounds kind of weird that it's going to Tennessee, even though it's supposed to be going to Colorado. This is the correct address that it's supposed to be going to. So go ahead and just click through here. Now all you have to do is fill out all this information right here and just continue down through all the citizenship, personal questions, etc., etc. To get to the very end. They're going to give you a piece of paper, which of course after you pay for it, it's going to cost about $54.50 to do this on top of your fingerprints and everything else. Once they give you that piece of paper, you're going to ship those fingerprints out with this form. And when you do that, that'll just help the fingerprinting board identify you and how they can basically do those criminal background checks altogether. So once you submit those fingerprints and you fill out that application and everything, we should be all good to go. You should have everything successfully submitted, and you should be hearing from them within about 2 weeks, I think is about a good time that I waited. So the cost breakdown of everything, the application fee was about $66. The fingerprinting, I went to a local police station and I got it done for about $20 there. Then the Colorado Identico costs, that extra form, $54.50. And then I put those two forms together and I got a like a business style envelope and shipped those fingerprints out. You have to make sure that you don't ship it out in anything that folds. You're not allowed to fold the fingerprint cards or else they're going to be considered invalid. So the rough total is about $148 or like $150 is what you're going to expect to pay when applying for this application. And the good thing is if you're traveling, you're going to get that reimbursed. So that's usually always within the cost and everything. If you're a new PT, that's the cost of getting your application. The best part is you only have to get it once and then some renewals every year or two for Colorado. I think actually Colorado is every year application renewal. But thank you so much for watching this video. If there is any questions that you guys have at all, feel free to reach out in the comments. I'm sure other people may have those questions too. And I'm sure myself or someone else will be able to answer those things. So thank you so much and God bless.